Okay.
Raven Williams.
Okay.
Hey,
Hey
Miss
guys.
Williams.
Hey Raven,
How
how
are
are
y'all?
you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me. How y'all doing?
Good, girl.
Good.
Okay, so you got to tell everybody a little bit about yourself and your literary journey.
Okay, yeah. I am Raven J. Williams, and my journey started actually a few years ago. I've been writing, but I've kind of kept it to myself. I only gave out, a book here and there when I needed to, because I started off by mentoring people. And so from there, then it kind of traveled on, and I decided to go ahead and write a new book. Last year, I released it, and then I decided to go public with that particular book. And from there, I decided to start slowly releasing my other books along the way. But like I said, I started off kind of mentoring people. This is how kind of I got started. And I felt like people had the same story. They were starting to go through the same journey that I did in the past. And so it's like when you're going through some things, it's like you think it hurts or you think it's just for you. But then when you overcome those things and then somebody crosses your path that needs the information on how you got through your situation, it helps you release, but it also blesses them at the same time. And
Absolutely.
so from there, I was like, oh, well, this story of my life is kind of interesting. So, I started to write. So as I talked to other people, I would go down and I would think about what they said, and then I would come back and I would write down some things. Back then, I always email myself. That's where half of my books are, in my email from way back. So I would email and I would add to it. And so that's kind of how I started writing as I started to see more and more, because I've been mentoring for a little over 20 years. And so as I started seeing more things, and it's like the circle of life was coming around, some things that I've helped somebody through, maybe 15 years ago, circle back around, and maybe 3 years ago somebody else had that same journey, and I had to coach them through their situation or sit down and hold their hand or something. And so I was like, wait a minute, I have to stop hiding these words and these messages, because it seems like it's coming over and over again, and stop hiding them in my email and get it out to the world. And so I started publicly putting things out because I want to share that information, because I'm not getting a little younger. But, so as I move on, I want to continue to have that message out, whether whatever position I'm in or not, because not everybody in my little circle or across my path so far needs to hear those things, because the world is large, huge. And so there's so many people with the same scenarios and the same situations. And so that kind of sparked my open literary journey, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
It does.
Now, what city are you in?
I am in Lake Charles, Louisiana, which is on the opposite end of New Orleans. So I'm at the border of Texas.
Okay. I got an organization that I want to connect you with called Girls Who Brunch. And I think it would be a fabulous opportunity for you with your mentoring, because they have a mentoring program as well. But we'll talk about that after the fact. But, that's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Yeah. Now, what was your go moment like? When did you decide? Because most of the time you told you thought about these things that you're doing now beforehand. And you talked yourself out of it, whether you said you didn't have time, couldn't do it right now, it's not the right moment, how am I going to do that? But when you decided to make it happen, what was that moment like for you? What was going on in your world that made you say, I'm about to step out and make it happen?
My go moment is just sometimes you hear something to say it's time. And so it was time. Now, let me say this. I missed my first go moment because I knew there was a book that I wrote 2 years ago, and I knew that I was supposed to release it. But, you know, even though sometimes we help other people, we still go through things ourselves. And so I just didn't know. It just wasn't, I just didn't do it. I didn't do it. Maybe I just didn't have it wasn't about resources. I just didn't do it for whatever reason. I didn't do it. And I missed that moment because when situations come around, times come around at certain times. Things come around at certain times. And so I missed that moment, and then it just wasn't time to release it again. So last year, as I was sitting, I was talking to my mother, and she kept telling me these things and telling me certain things and telling me certain things. And I was like, that, you are spitting some knowledge, you know? And so, and I and I thought to myself, man, I've been around so many amazing people who has poured into me, you know, over the years. And sometimes we need that. We pour into others, but we also need somebody to pour into us. So
that's right.
I sat there and, she poured into me. Then I thought about all of my aunts and my cousins and my best friends and my grandmothers and all of those people who have poured into me over the years. And I said, you know what? With all the stuff that's happening in the world, we don't know what tomorrow going to bring. So it's time to share that knowledge because they didn't have to share it with me, but they did, and it stuck with me. And the stuff that they said was so powerful, and it's stuff that we need on a daily basis. And so I said, you know what? It's time. I'm not going to miss my moment again to get this information out. So I put my latest book, She is Legacy, out in print, and I made it an easy read because I wasn't a long book reader. I love good audio. I'll listen to an audio all day long. But I wanted something. I'm just going to be honest. I wanted something that was going to be easy for people to connect with and have them reflect back. So I put some of the words that these people have told me, and I put it in writing, and I sat on it. And I said, okay, I'm going to release it and just kind of see what happens locally. And then the book started blowing up, and I was like, okay, I tell you what. And then the feedback that people was giving me, it wasn't what I was expected at all, you know. And so that made me say, okay, something is going on. Somebody needs to hear something, so let me put this out there, and then we're going to push it because somebody needs to know it.
That's
I
so
love
important.
it.
Yes, there's so much more outside than holding it within. Well, Raven, this is Toni, and my partner over there, Miss Lissha, she's an advocate for audiobooks as well. but here on this chat, you know, we're book bougie. We're comfortable, you know, admitting it now. And I love the title. I think you said it was She is Legacy. You know, there's something in the title and the colors and the way it appears, the way your name appears. How did you come up with that title, She is Legacy? Because that's a pretty powerful, just those 3 words is pretty powerful.
It is. You're just talking about your legacy. And the thing I love about it is, the thing that kind of got me, rather, was that I wrote it with the intent of sharing with women. But it's so funny. I pitched it out to several outlets, blind outlets, to do reviews, and they select either male, female. It didn't matter what race, nationality you were, and it was picked up by a man in a totally different state, of a totally different background as me, totally different race. And the review he gave, I was like, OMG, you know,
really?
And it really sat with him. So I let a few other people read it, and they were like, you know what, this is not just for women. You know, this book can be for men also. So, but it because it connects the reader with their heritage and with their particular legacy, what they want to be theirs. And so, like, let me just tell you a little bit about it, if you don't mind.
Mhm.
So it takes you on a journey of reflection. Defining the whole embodiment of a woman. It talks about how she creatively molds beauty, how she's continuously evolving, how she has the courage to stand amidst any situation, about how she has the mindset to make anyone or anything move with the on this earth, with the twinkle in her eye, with the sound of her voice, with the shape of her physique, and the commands of her atoning attention. This book really speaks and defines the woman in general. In just a few pages, it's going to really sit you in that moment of, man, that's a woman. And so as a female, you're like, oh, that's me, or oh, that's what my mama told me, or that's my friend, that's my girlfriend right there, or hey, come on, that's my, so it's those type of people who you're thinking about. And so with that, then it's going to help you reflect on who you are. And who your predecessors were, and who your ancestors were, and what you want to be in the future. Is going to help you discover through the chapters all these people, your teacher, the person that's your encourager, your motivator, the person that brings things to the table and let everybody eat. That person, it's going to, and then it empowers you to shape and mold the next person in line. And so that's why in the book, it has lines for you to write down things. You can write a note to people and send the book to them. We've had a lot of people donate books. They purchase one and they donate another one because they just want to share with that particular person, because that person is legacy for them. It can be your spouse. It can be your daughter. It can be your mother. It can be anybody. And so I wanted an easy cover that reflected beauty. I love pearls, so it reflected beauty, and I had to have some pearls in there somewhere. And so just to say, you are legacy. You are my legacy, or I am that legacy, or my wife is that legacy, or my sister, or my cousin, or my teacher is that legacy. Anyone can be that particular person.
Lissha, I don't know about you, girl, but I was feeling that she was describing it. I said, that's right. That's womanhood.
That's the thing. Yeah, because we are legacy, and a lot of women don't understand what that really means. And so the fact that you titled that your book title is very powerful, only because women are legacy. Not only are we legacy, but we create legacy because we have the ability to give life. And just to be able to stand in that, some women have a hard time where they may have situations and fear. A lot of times it's fear that stops us from doing things. I always say fear will put you in a trick bag every moment. It'll put you in a position where you're like, man, now what I do that for? After you think about it. But I think that comes from knowing who we are and knowing who we are and standing in that and know that I am legacy. I'm just legacy just by myself. And I'm glad that you put all of those different people that they cross paths with for them to be able to write that down, because everybody's presence does something different. Everybody's presence in your life does something different.
It is important to have those people in your life. And that's like I often tell people when I go and I speak, is that, I use the example of my mother. She gave physical birth to me, but she is constantly birthing life into me every day. If I have a tough moment, if I'm ill, or it doesn't matter what's going on. I could be think I'm having a good day, and she come over and make me laugh, or she'll tell me something right off the bat. And so she's constantly birthing life into me. I have friends that do that. I have my cousins that do that from Houston and Atlanta. They call me and they birth life into me, or we chat on Facebook or something in our cousins chat. But we're both birthing life. They birth life into me. And so with that, I birth life into others, to my nieces and nephews and my little godkids. we have to keep evolving as women, keep birthing that light into, and that so that all of our lights will continue to shine. Because sometimes people try to make your light dim, but when you have that person beside you that'll make you laugh, that'll tell you something silly, they know exactly what you want, they listen to you. Ooh, that's huge. If they listen to you, sometimes people just let you talk, but not everybody listens to you. So when they listen, and then all of that is reflected in this book. So that's why I love it, because, and you know what, I'm just saying, I didn't see all of that. I had to continuously read this book to find that. And then let me tell you another interesting thing. On the back of my book is only my name. It's only my name because when I put this book out, I realized today, a year later, that I was still hiding behind myself. And so I didn't put my picture on the back of the book because I was still, I was a little ashamed, not really ashamed, but I just didn't want to be, I'm not a forefront person anyway, but I didn't want to have my picture out there. And I didn't realize until recently that I was hiding from myself. So the second edition of She Is Legacy is coming out in the next couple of weeks. And guess what? It has my picture on it because I realized some things, and it took those people to continuously birth life into me to tell me not to be ashamed of myself.
Right.
And that's the kind of people that you need in your life.
And some people need it and don't. I know, right? They need it and don't even realize it. Just hearing the words.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. Listen, you just said so much. You done spoke a word to somebody. Come on, somebody. That was a word. That was a word right there. Because
absolutely.
At the beginning, it's funny that you mentioned that because in the beginning of the interview, you talked about you wanted to keep your book to yourself, and that was one of my questions. My question was why, and we are all, if you think about it, at some point in time, we are all hiding from ourselves when we do things. We're very lukewarm and timid. We're warm when we do things for others. But when it comes to ourselves and the things that we have, we tend to be more lukewarm and timid about that. And we can't expect people to be warm about us if we are lukewarm about ourselves.
Yes. Yes.
So true. And it takes a lot to try to get out of that because it becomes habitual, and it takes strength to get out of that habit and not to revert back to it as well.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Absolutely.
So, if you had to drop some jewels on a woman that needed to step into her legacy, what jewels would you drop on them?
I would say, don't forget the journey. Love the journey. Don't forget where you've come from, and just live every moment because somebody is always watching. Just like we watch, someone is watching us.
That's right.
So whatever you do it with boldness. Do it with class. Leave it like this is your last time talking, speaking, walking, showing your face, your last time smiling. Enjoy the journey because somebody is watching, and everything that you do is your legacy. Love the person next to you. Love the person that's far away from you. Love the person on the other side of the phone. Love the person on social media. Whatever it is, it's your journey and it's your legacy. Because a lot of times people will hide behind social media instead of calling someone, instead of talking to someone. So social media is such a powerful platform, and it's shaping some people's legacy right now. So what we say and what we type and what we do leaves a lasting impression. Someone may only pass your social media page once, may only see your status on a pass by. So we have to make sure whatever we're planting, that it seeps in deep enough to leave an impression so that somebody can at least say, oh, you know what? I met a girl, I met a guy in the store, I saw somebody on Facebook, I passed by the radio station and heard somebody's voice. Whatever they were saying, they remember it. That is your legacy. Don't let anybody take that away from you. Don't let anybody make you ashamed of that. Don't let anybody take your light and try to dim it down, because we were born enlightened, and our light continues to shine everywhere we go. So let that light shine. When we pass on for a long time from now, I want people to pass by the cemetery and see my name, or pass by and say, oh, I see that light shining over there. That was where Raven was. Her light ain't going to never dim down. Her light will continue to flourish, continue to shine. She will remember. You will remember people will remember who you are. I want people to remember who I am. That's why I write, because that is my legacy. That's what I want to leave behind. I want to create change, and other people should do the same. Not necessarily write, but find your niche. Find your one thing. Even if it's just sitting at home, just writing, making an encouraging note. Let me tell you something. I love to send a random text to somebody, or I love to send just a postcard, or just a little letter, or just a little note. Hey, how you doing? Just thinking about you. That simple thing, people will never forget. So it doesn't have to be something that's all grand. Your legacy is who you are within. So we should tap inside of who we are and make sure that we're shining as bright as we can for the next person in line to remember us and to leave it a lasting impression. That is our legacy.
Girl, you better preach.
Talk that talk. Yes, honey. Talk about it. You better let them know what it is. I know that's right.
Absolutely.
I want you to tell us how you and all your fabulousness got connected to the BAM tour, the Black Authors Matter movement.
Oh, I love the BAM tour. Nico is amazing. I actually met him through social media. So you see, social media has some powerful, positive attributes to it. We're in a group together, and he mentioned about that he was looking for authors. So I connected with him, and we chatted back and forth. And then I hesitated because, I had to sit back and pray on that and make sure that it was what I needed to be doing. And I dropped into one of his lives. And he said, Raven, give me a call. I need you on this tour. So we talked after that, and then the rest has been history. When I tell y'all the tour has been amazing, man, the knowledge, the authors, the connections, everything has been so fabulous. It is such a wonderful tour to be on. And Nico is awesome. He is such a visionary, great in everything that he does. So I'm happy to be a part of it, and happy that all of the other authors, that we have a voice in this avenue. It's such a great avenue.
I love it.
Awesome.
You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Now, on your way out the chat room, I want you to shout out all of your social media where everybody can get acquainted with you, your next event that you are going to be at, or any interviews you have coming up.
Yes. Okay. So it's very easy to find me. I am at Raven J. Williams on Facebook, on Instagram, not on Twitter. I just don't trying to figure that out yet. So Instagram, Facebook. My website is Raven J. Williams. I put out a blog every month, an inspirational blog. We also have some apparel. All of my books are on there. Also, we have a mentoring program that just kicked off. It's called Blueprint Coaching, mentoring leadership, nonprofit leadership, and businesses, teenagers, and other authors. And so that is Blueprint Coaching. And so my email, you can email me through that one, is blueprintcoaching@gmail.com. I have the Black Authors Matter Tour coming up. I will be in Los Angeles in September, New Orleans in September, and in Chicago in October. And all of that is posted on my social media website.
Awesome.
I love it. I love it. We so appreciate you coming and kicking with us in the chat room. We definitely got to get you on Let's Chat Live. So excited for everything that you have coming down the pipeline, just for your vision, your expansion, and the blessing you are to others is amazing. And we want you to continue doing what you're doing. You are welcome on our show anytime.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you guys
so much for having me.
We enjoyed having you.
You are so very welcome. And we will talk to you soon.
Have a good weekend.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good weekend.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Awesome.
Oh, my God. So awesome. Listen, y'all, Black Authors Matters Tour is coming to a city near you. Fabulous visionary. Nico has mixed celebrity with authors on all different kinds of levels. 8 major city tour. Authors can choose cities that they like to take part in. They're charged a fee. There is a fee for a 2 or 4 hour block per event. You get press, media placements, panels, speaking engagements. I mean, listen, this is an awesome experience. I actually had the ability and the privilege of experiencing the Black Authors Matters Tour. Let's Chat did the media for the tour the year before last, and they were at the Women's Expo here in Atlanta, Georgia. And now, if y'all know anything about an expo, it's like 3 million people. It's kind of equivalent to your sister. What's that? Sister Circle.
Circle of Sisters.
Circle of Sisters. Yes. And so you see how large that platform is. And so just to be able to have the vision of saying I can place them and position them with direct target consumer contact with readers and just people, because really everybody is your audience. Everybody is your audience. Anybody you meet, whether it's at the grocery store, whether it's at the gas station, everybody you come across is your audience. And so I'm so excited to be able to experience that for other authors. Now, listen, if you want to be part of the BAM tour, no worries. They still have, I think, 4 or 5 more cities that are coming up. You're just going to go to the BAM, B as in boy, A as in apple, M as in Mary, tour.com. And you'll be able to get connected with this fabulous, fabulous event. If you don't want to do it this year due to COVID, some people are, they are feeling nervous, and that's okay, But the best part, I think, about BAM is that it is a business pivot. It's learning how to adjust to the new ways to be social distancing and still be able for us to mix and mingle, have masks on, and do business and network responsibly. So I'm excited because they have New Orleans coming up in September. They have LA coming up in September. They got Chicago coming up in October. They have Arizona. They have New Jersey. So they still have cities during the tour that are open and available. Y'all make sure y'all hit them up. We appreciate you guys coming to kick it with us in the chat room. Our BAM tour continues on Monday. We have 2 fabulous guests that are going to be in here, and we're going to talk that talk with them. We thank you guys for taking time out and coming to kick it with us. Remember, Let's Chat Live. Let's Chat Live is now available on Ebony TV. Make sure you guys tune in to our Let's Chat Live additional platform at www.tmv as in Victor, tc.com. There's the Ebony TV tab. You'll be able to see the first show that we have posted on demand. Now, if you want to advertise With Let's Chat, absolutely. We have advertisement packages. We have sponsorship packages. Send your request to the chatradioshow@gmail.com. If you want to be a guest on the show, send your request to the chatradioshow@gmail.com. And we love music. If you are an independent musician, a band, and mainstream, and you want to be able to share your music with us, send your information in, and we'll be glad to play your music on our platform. We appreciate everybody's support. Our replays are popping, so we appreciate you guys coming to kick it with us. We appreciate you guys supporting us. 6 years and running, we've been doing this, and we thank you guys. And we will see you guys on Monday.
Have a good weekend. Stay safe.